are officially a couple days away from Money in the Bank 2024. And this Money in the Bank is so interesting and unique with different types of crazy matchups. And I'm so excited to see what happens this Saturday at Money in the Bank. Before we gotta backtrack, before we get into that, remember to hit that like and subscribe button because we got more wrestling content on the way. And I know you guys are gonna love the content that I have coming up next. So back to the video. We're finally here for Money in the Bank 2024 and we have a pretty solid match card, pretty interesting women's and Money in the Banks. Everything else is looking pretty good, but our first matchup of the night, that is 6-man tag team match that has Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton, Kevin Owens versus the Bloodline of Solo Sikoa, Tama Tonga Tongaloa, and Jacob Fatu. And yet on the match card there is 4 people. We don't know if Jacob can really go across to Canada, if they're going to allow him with his history, criminal history. Let's say it's a 3-on-3 people that we currently have. Cody's team and Solo's team. And to me, honestly, I think this match needs a stipulation, because we've seen in the most recent couple episodes of SmackDown how they've been going crazy and just attacking each other. Kevin Owens doing swantons over Ledge, Tongaloa, them brawling all throughout this arena. From the last week's episode of SmackDown, them just constantly attacking each other. I don't know, maybe this Friday, since it's been recorded before, if they do a stipulation then and that like a no DQ or maybe a street fight, because we're in Money in the Bank, we gotta do something crazy here. But I still feel like overall this is still gonna be a good match, and we all kind of know what this is gonna lead to for something for SummerSlam. But if I really had to choose a winner here, Solo's Bloodline, they desperately, and I mean desperately need this win so bad. They need this win. If they really want to solidify themselves, they need this win. And if potentially if they're going to do the rumored Cody versus Solo at SummerSlam, Solo needs to win this match by pinning the champion Cody Rhodes. They need to make that statement. I don't think it will be clean. Probably some Bloodline shenanigans. Pin Cody Rhodes. That builds to a SummerSlam match at SummerSlam. Either that is where we need to head the direction for SummerSlam, and this Bloodline desperately needs a win over Team Cody, because if they don't get this, it's really hurting the Bloodline because they're already struggling enough. Jacob's carrying all this on his back. So if it is obvious enough, I am going the Walmart Bloodline 2.0 for picking up the victory over Team Cody. Now our next match we get into that, and that is Sami Zayn defending his Intercontinental Championship against Braun Breaker. And this match is going to be absolutely amazing. The story of, Braun Breaker, he's this unstoppable force that will break through everybody. And then this Sami Zayn, this wall that will continue to hold out and hold on as long as it can and won't go down. And that's the two worlds just clashing. I honestly feel like Sami Zayn should be going for the war title, in my personal opinion. He shouldn't be having the IC title. Cool and all. He defeated Gunther, he's doing all this, but I really feel like he should be going for the war title. And I'm kind of confused. I thought they were really teasing a fatal 4-way, possibly a fatal or triple threat for this, because I don't know if it's because Ludwig got injured, that's the reason why he's not in this match. I don't really know why. And then it's kind of like, yeah, they could do this, hold this match all the way over to SummerSlam, maybe making that one a triple threat or fatal 4-way. This should be the time for Braun Breaker to destroy Sami Zayn. But we know WWE, sometimes they like to give people the hometown wins, but we just saw with Drew McIntyre, they're not afraid of making people lose in their hometown. And I guess also too, he's already had his hometown win when he did Chad Gable in his hometown, and I think it was Montreal. So you could have Braun Breaker come in and just absolutely demolish and destroy him, and it could really make this fear of Braun Breaker. Braun Breaker being the guy that was able, Braun Breaker beating Sami Zayn, Sami Zayn the guy being that beat Gunther, Braun Breaker beating Gunther in the past. So there's so many things that could tie in. I feel like this is really the best spot for Braun Breaker, because I don't know how can you build Braun Breaker from losing this match to getting another match. Of course you could attack Sami and do something basic like that, but I really feel like his character is winning all the time, and I feel like this is the win he needs. He's been killing it. He's over. The fans love him. He's great in-ring, great character, great promos. It's the time. I am going for Braun Breaker to beat Sami Zayn and become your new Intercontinental Champion. Now we're getting into the World Heavyweight Champion Damian Priest defending his championship against Seth freaking Rollins. This match The story has been kind of there. It's been alright. Some good parts, some bad parts. But the intros, when I first saw this feud happening, I didn't even think this was going to happen at all. Because I thought Seth Rollins, from how he was looking at WrestleMania 40, I thought this dude wasn't going to return until next year's Royal Rumble. So I'm surprised he's even back this soon. But it really begs the question is, why did they decide to put him here now? Why they put him here all of a sudden? But it all makes sense. This story is so perfect. Because when this match first got announced, I thought it was easy for Damian Priest. He was going to win. Because you're going to build on to the point of Damian Priest trying to prove himself. He doesn't need the Judgment Day for a win, And Seth Rollins is the longest world heavyweight champion because, he's the first ever one. But also, too, beating someone like that would be big for Damian Priest. But with this story unfolding, with Seth Rollins putting that bet up like, if I lose, I never face for the title again along as your champion. But if you lose, you leave the Judgment Day. And the reason why that brings this story so much more interesting, because if you really think about this story, if you really dive deep into it, everyone's positions are almost exactly the same as they were last year's Money in the Bank. The only difference is that Finn Balor is not in the Money in the Bank match, and Seth Rollins is not champion. But this story has been playing. Damian Priest was the reason why Finn Balor consistently lost 2 title opportunities against Seth Rollins last year. But now the roles are reversed. But also, too, adding with this Finn and Damian story, is them arguing because Finn wants to help Damian, because that's the whole part of the Judgment Day. They help each other out. They help interfere in matches and cost other person matches. They've been doing that. But ever since Damian has become champion, he's changed. He's also been acting like, I don't need the Judgment Day. I can win on my own. But you've spent the majority of the time having the Judgment Day help you. And it's been on this weird twist and turn cycle of everything. So it's been kind of weird. And then what teases us even more is that Gunther is your King of the Ring winner of 2024. So he gets a guaranteed title shot at SummerSlam. And yeah, you can book heel versus heel. It can work. The majority of the time you want the face versus heel. That story is easier to book, able to tell a better story. It just works out a lot more. But then you go to Seth Rollins. He's a full-on babyface. He could easily drop it to Gunther. It wouldn't hurt nobody at all. Seth Rollins would be perfectly fine. But also too, we get the babyface versus the heel. So that would work out a lot more. Plus, if the Judgment Day get in the match and interfere, if possibly, they accidentally cost him or they do it on purpose, you can start doing that Damian Priest versus Finn Balor match at SummerSlam. So there's many different things that you could end up doing. But overall, I am choosing Seth Rollins to reclaim his World Heavyweight Championship by defeating Damian Priest. Now we get into the men's Money in the Bank match, which has LA Knight, Drew McIntyre, Carmelo Hayes, Andrade, Chad Gable, and Jey Uso. And this has got to be one of the most chaotic Money in the Bank is going to have. We're probably going to have so many people interfere possibly. It's so interesting because you could write off certain people from this match. LA Knight, obviously they're going to build that Logan Paul match for the US title at SummerSlam. So LA Knight's clearly out of winning this. And you got Drew McIntyre. I think maybe a possible AJ Lee return. I don't know. Could be potentially. Because they could tease that CM Punk is not here. Bring in AJ Lee. I just don't see him winning because they're obviously having that high profile feud with CM Punk at SummerSlam. So there's no way that Drew McIntyre is winning because I don't want them to give it to him just for then CM Punk to cost him, because I feel like that'd be a waste of a Money in the Bank. I could have went to somebody else. Carmelo Hayes, he's quite new, but I feel like it's just too soon for him to win. Maybe next year. I just think it's way too soon. Andrade is kind of the same thing. It's not just that he's new, but he's kind of getting his feet wet back in the WWE, and I just feel like it's too soon for him to win. Maybe next year, but right now, I don't see it. Chad Gable's the same thing, but Wyatt Six are after him. There is no way they're going to let him win and then try to go for the title. They would obviously cost him the Money in the Bank, and it just doesn't make sense when he's already in another high profile feud as well with the Wyatt Six and having no family, having a family. So it just wouldn't make sense for any Chad Gable to win. So then it leads to the one main person who could also be cost the match by the Bloodline, and that is Jey Uso. This to me is Jey Uso's moment. I feel like you've been calling him main event Jey Uso. This is I see a perfect way for him to cash in and be champion for the rest of the year later down the line. I feel like this is finally his moment to finally win a big one at the biggest opportunity, because he's been losing and losing after all the time, and I feel like this is his time to finally win one of the big ones. I think it's going to be a great match. You have so many different types of talent, different types of way, but if I had to choose my top 3 picks, my first one's going to be Andrade, second one's going to be Carmelo Hayes, and then my first pick will be Jey Uso to be what he calls the Yeet in the Bank or whatever. But I have Jey Uso through 2024 Money in the Bank winner. Now we get to the last Money in the Bank match, and that is the women's Money in the Bank. And that is as Io Sky, Ira Valkyria, Tiffany Stratton, Naomi, Zoe Stark, and Chelsea Green. And this match, I think it's going to be a fantastic match. You had so many different types of talent, so many different types of styles of wrestling. It's going to be fantastic. But we could easily write off some people. Zoe has been consistently losing. It'd be super stupid for her to win this regardless. Io doesn't need it. She's been getting that the type of presentation that she should have had back then in her title reign. Io just doesn't need it. She's already a Money in the Bank winner. Even though it'd be cool if she was a 2-time Money in the Bank winner, she just doesn't need it. Then we get to the final four, and to me, it's very hard to figure out who would win this. But I'd have to put Naomi as my fourth person I think would win, because don't get me wrong, you have a perfect story you could tell with Naomi winning Money in the Bank. You have a perfect story right there with her and Bailey, but at the same time too, I feel like she also doesn't need it. She could easily get a title shot. She's already a main eventer type caliber. She's already proved it from being in TNA and coming back. I think she doesn't need it, but I wouldn't be mad if she won it. She's a great pick for Miss Money in the Bank, but I don't think she's gonna win it. For my third pick, that is Lara Valkyria. Lara Valkyria, I'm a big fan of hers, and I feel like they've been pushing a rocket to her and showcasing her as something super big, super popular. And you can also tie in her story with Liv Morgan and that whole, Judgment Day stuff and Becky Lynch. I just kind of feel like we're waiting for Rhea Ripley to get that title back, but Lara could always still cash in afterwards too. Lara Valkyria is my third pick, so then we go down to Tiffany Stratton as my second pick to win it, just because she's a rising star. She's killing it, super over. Her whole presentation, she does a perfect job at what she does. I just feel like maybe it's a bit too soon, but also too, they're potentially teasing this Nia Jax type team up, so potentially I could see a take team title win in their future. Maybe I could see that happening, but they could easily also give her the Money in the Bank and tease kind of like, oh, will she cash in on Nia and actually betray her? But what was the point of her teasing this whole team up? But either way, if she won it, I would not care. I think she would be a perfect Miss Money Bank. Tiffy in the Bank, sign me up. I'm all here for it. But my number one pick, and I think it's pretty obvious, it's Chelsea Green. You already have one Canadian person losing, you gotta have one other person at least win during the night. And that is, to me, that is Chelsea Green. She has the perfect moment right now. Her moment is perfect to win the Money in the Bank right now. She has been killing it. She's great on promos, great character work, and if they really let her go in the ring, she is a killer in the ring. She is fantastic in the ring. And it's perfect for her. Green in the Bank, Chelsea in the Bank, it just works perfect. Plus, too, she has someone like Piper that could easily help her get a successful cash and have that muscle that she needs. And Chelsea could have a great type of Miss Money in the Bank one like Carmella. Someone who can really have a fun storytelling, being that heel that goes around trying to cash in and fails, but someday will finally get a successful one. But also, this was a great way to really make her presentable of having a successful cash in, because I don't think she would win it on her own means of winning them own contenders matches and then winning an actual match at a pay-per-view. So to me, this is a perfect gateway to shoot her right up into the main event scene that she deserves, because she is so talented, and that's a great way to put her right into the main event picture, and I'm hoping a successful cash-in. But to me, out of all these talented and great women, I am choosing Chelsea Green as your Miss Money in the Bank winner of 2024, and these are all my Money in the Bank predictions. I'm very excited for Money in the Bank this year. There's so many twists and turns this could take, and so many great options for the men's and women's Money in the Bank. We're gonna have to see what Money in the Bank has in store for us this year. Let me know down in the comments, who do you have being your 2024 men's and women's Money in the Bank winners? And also, what are the rest of your predictions? Let me know down in the comments, and we'll have to see what's in store at Money in the Bank. So now y'all can go. Shoot, bye bye. Go.